Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. And first things first, everybody, Happy New Year. It is, of course, New Year's Day. Happy New Year from me to you watching this video, and I hope it's a good one for you personally. And I hope it's, of course, collectively, we hope it's a good one for our team. Better than 2022, hopefully. Hopefully, we'll have no issues with relegation in terms of being down there, fighting out for it. But let's wait and see. Obviously, the transfer window is open as well. That's exciting. You'll see more rumours around Leeds coming from me in the coming month. But let's get into the meat and drink of the video. And it's a review. Obviously, Leeds United played yesterday. We're all fearing the worst for this game against Newcastle, coming off the back of a defeat at home to Man City. And Leeds United came away with a point, a 0-0 draw for Leeds at St James's Park yesterday afternoon, and it was a well-deserved point. We'll get into it. Who I thought played well, the sort of meat of the game, and my thoughts as well on Newcastle, a little bit as well. So yeah, obviously the starting lineup came out. There was three changes to the side from the defeat to Man City. Harrison, Ayling, and it was Rocker. No, Rocker was out, wasn't it? Adams obviously came in. Rocker came on for the second half of Forshaw, didn't he? And I think, into the West Ham game, I think Rocker will partner Adams. I don't know why he started with Forshaw, to be fair, as well as Adams. So it was a 4-2-3-1. He reverted back to his normal or his preferred formation from his time at Leeds. And we had Meslier in goal. There was left back was Strauch, centre backs Cooper, Koch, right hand side Ayling, in the middle Rocker and Adams. The front three behind the striker of Willie Gnonto, Aronson, and Harrison. And then up front by himself was Rodrigo. And we were very isolated. I thought we started the game well. We started well. We pressed them high. We didn't allow Newcastle any real time on the ball. There was a couple of defensive slips. Chris Wood nearly got in the early few minutes. I don't know what he's doing there. He just sort of shanks it wide when he should have really either buried it himself or crossed it wide. I don't know who was in the middle. Maybe it was Almiron, but past that first few minutes, I thought we dominated the ball quite well in the opening sort of 10, 15 minutes. Obviously, like I said, occasional defensive lapses let them in straight. There was a point, I think, early on in the game where they were trying to play him offside and they weren't. I think it might have been Willock who was wide open, but we got back and defended well. I thought Strauch, I thought the whole defence really mucked in, got the job done, which was a clean sheet. And let's be honest, when you go into St James's Park, Newcastle are what they are now. Whether people like it or not, they're a very well drilled, decent side. They're in the top three. They're in the top three at the moment for a reason. I think they're about 17, 18 games in. I think they've played a few more than us, have they? Maybe 16. Maybe they've played the same or one more. I don't know, but we're past. We're into the new year now. The table doesn't lie, is what I'm trying to say now. They're in the top four. I'm pretty sure they'll probably finish they'll definitely finish with Europe. Whether it's Europa League or Champions League is to be decided yet, whether they can go the distance. But what I'm trying to say, it's a very, very difficult place to go. They're very well drilled, come off the back of six straight wins. So we're going to go defensive. I've seen a lot of people slating Leeds, particularly the Newcastle United fans, on this sort of platform and saying, Leeds, one lad was saying Leeds were a disgrace for the way they played. I mean, I know it's not the most attractive way of playing football, is it? But we needed to make the game scrappy. We needed to make it dirty with the weather as well. Absolutely chucking it down, wasn't it, in Newcastle yesterday by the look of it? So the weather conditions helped us, I think, didn't let Newcastle play their game. And, their silky players, like Almiron and Joe Linton Maximan when he came on, and a few others, obviously. Bruno, they weren't allowed to play their natural games, and they reverted in a sense to their dirty tactics. I thought Gumares was on the floor more than he was on his feet yesterday, and almost like it wasn't going their way. They had to somehow throw the dummy out the pram, and oh, it's not going our way, we're not winning, you know what I mean? And it felt a bit like they were. I mean, it worked in our favour. They got sucked in to what we wanted to play. Tyler Adams with his shit housing. And I think he had some choice words to say. That clip going round where he kicks the double balls on the pitch. He's kicking it against it to Murphy's trying to pick it up. I think he had some choice words for Jacob Murphy saying Happy New Year in very very expletives, I think it was. So yeah, we pulled them into that game, and they played it. They I've never seen a game with so many free kicks and corner kicks for the opposition team. But Meslier, to his credit, dealt with them. He just dealt with them all day long. He'll still be dealing with it. He'll probably still be catching balls in an empty St James's Park at this moment. He was so used to doing it yesterday, and he played well. He didn't flap at any, which sometimes he does. Sometimes he made a couple of really nice saves. I mean, there's one in the sort of early mid second half where Chris Wood should score. There's no doubt about it. Chris Wood should score, but Meslier makes himself big, Schmeichel-esque, wasn't it? Came out and just smothered him. And Newcastle, they had the chances. Longstaff, Newcastle fans would have wanted it to fall to somebody else. I think Cher had a couple of chances as well, which, just went over the top, narrowly wide. They had chances to win, let's not kid ourselves. And going forward, Leeds United were just non-existent. But that's the game we were playing, and it frustrates me because I want to see. Obviously, everybody wants to see Leeds United attack teams and go and try and win the game. We didn't at Ellen Road on Wednesday, and we ended up obviously losing the game against City. We didn't again yesterday. We didn't really attack them, and in January, obviously, we know the attacking areas of the team are the most definitely the highest priority to strengthen. Obviously, we've got Maximilian Wöber coming in from Salzburg. Jesse Marsch knows him well. Looks like that one is progressing quite quickly. The centre back come left back. So that sort of sorts that position out. Obviously, hopefully he can play left back, and then Strout can come in and play centre back, probably alongside Robin Koch if I was to pick my man who he would partner. But yeah, overall, you've got to be delighted with that, really. And you see Jesse Marsch, there's that picture of him, and he put it on his social media, didn't he? Saying, what a point it was, and Happy New Year and all the rest. And he was, obviously celebrating, fists up and all that. Looked obviously delighted. And people are slating him for that. I've seen even Leeds fans slating him for that, saying, there seems to be a bit of an agenda now against Jesse Marsch, which is a real shame. But yeah, why not? Why not celebrate that? That, like I said, Newcastle at home in particular. Only Liverpool, I think, and Man City in the last year have come and beat them at St James's. And we shut them out. We got a point. It's probably the best, realistically, that we could have hoped for. So why shouldn't he celebrate it? You know what I mean? It's an important point for us. And so I don't get this kind of attitude from some fans of, oh, look at them, yeah, he's celebrating like he's won it, and some again, oh, congratulations to Leeds for winning the 0-0. It's a bit like that game in the Euros, England Scotland, and 0-0, and Scotland celebrated it very very strongly. That from what I can remember, there's loads of examples, but yeah, look, why shouldn't they celebrate it? It's a good point for us. It's a clean sheet. It's only our third clean sheet of the season, and our first since a 0-0 draw at Ellen Road against Villa, which I think was in September. So yeah, why shouldn't he celebrate it? The lads did a good job. They mucked in. They showed character to dig in and shut Newcastle out in what they are such good form. You know, they're in such good form in Newcastle, and we shut them out. Callum Wilson came on, didn't really have a sniff. It potentially might have got sent off on another day. Got a bit frantic, didn't it, towards the end? And like I said, Newcastle players, you know, we're not winning this game. Let's surround the referee and all that sort of stuff. So it was a little bit silly, got a little bit unsavoury, and we've got players for that. I think that can deal with that situation quite well. Um, in terms of like Tyler Adams loves it, doesn't he? Like I said, he had some choice words for Murphy. Matthias Klick enjoys that sort of side of the game as well. So yeah, I think we've got players. If you want to go down that route, that can go in and give as good as they get. And we did that. I thought going forward, Nonto looked like the only real threat. We had some openings in the first half, and you think that opening sort of midway through the first half where Nonto plays in Aronson, and fair play to Nick Pope because he got there quickly. If he hadn't, it's either a penalty or it's a goal because Aronson was nearly on the end of that and nicking it round him to put it in the net. So yeah, we had one or two opportunities. Rodrigo had a shot, didn't he, which was pretty easily saved by Pope as well. So it was, we didn't have much going forward, and I know that needs addressing, but ultimately against a team who are absolutely flying, it was a delightful point really, and I'm quite happy with that. Let me know in the comments how happy you are. Let me know what you ended up doing on New Year's Eve as well, and how's your head this morning? Is it sore? Did you have a lot to drink? And whoever went down to Newcastle, I know again. I think I've seen some Newcastle fans berating the Leeds United fan base. I don't know why. You know what I mean? We are the same as them. You know, passionate about our team. You know, there's no need to badmouth them. I think there was a little bit of unsavoury scenes with the police, maybe, and the two sets of fans after the game. But I don't know. Let me know if you were there because obviously I wasn't. But yeah, overall, delighted with the point. We move on to West Ham, which is a huge game back at Ellen Road. Hopefully that shutout as well, the clean sheet, will have given the players some real confidence. Who knows as well, there's still a couple of days before that game. Maybe we have signed somebody or on the way to signing maybe an attacking option by the time that game rolls around on Wednesday evening. But I'll be looking ahead to it in a separate video in the day, maybe tomorrow potentially. So look out for that one. But Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you very much for sticking with me. It's been a bit of a longer one today, but thanks very much for watching. Happy New Year. Match not together. I'll see you on the next one.